your love, girl, there's no more. Tell me what you been playing. Oh, and I know you don't want nobody else. No, no, no.
What's going on, y'all? It's your main man 5, and I'm back with another album reaction. So, first of all, shout out to Peter. As y'all know, for a while I was getting into listening to the Sleep Token catalog. I did their first 2 albums, but for reasons I don't have to talk about at the moment, we didn't get a chance to finish it. But Peter's using his monthly pick for me to get back into finishing out their catalog. So today, if you haven't read the title, we're going to be doing Take Me Back to Eden. I remember loving The Sundowning. I really liked This Place Will Become Your Tomb. I've heard great things about this and even in Arcadia, so I'm excited to get back into it. I know these need to be more in-depth reactions. I have to really lock in and listen to the points that they're trying to get across. So if I don't talk too much, just know it's all coming. If you watch my reactions, you already know how this is gonna go. But yeah, again, shout out to Peter. I'm not gonna talk too much. I'm just excited to get right into it. The first song on the album is called Chokehold, so let's do it. Let's see the reason he revived this for me to get back into it.
When we were made, it was no accident. We were tangled up like branches in a flood. I come as a blade, a sacred guardian. So you keep me sharp and taste my worth in blood. You got me in a chokehold. You got me in a chokehold. You got me in a
That shit is crazy. Okay. So I guess I get right into it. That like immediately takes me back to the reason that I love these last two albums leading up to this one. I love the fact that there's something very focused theme wise. When you go back to the Sundown and if you haven't seen that reaction, I remember talking a lot about how much I love that. It was really a lot of realism and a lot of relatability in that to what it's like to be in a toxic relationship and trying to find some semblance of who you are without that person. But then you go into this will become your tomb, and you see that sometimes that separation doesn't always lead to peace. There's also a lot of issues that can develop. There's a lot of heartbreak, a lot of pain, and a lot of residual damage from what you've been through in the past that leads you into even more tragic situations. If life was as simple as being able to separate yourself and everything's better moving forward, I think a lot more people would be in a better position. Like to the same effect of, let's say you have a drug addict, they become sober, but when you become sober, that doesn't mean that it'll be easy to be sober for the rest of your life. That's a constant day-to-day battle to be able to survive through that separation, to be able to survive away from something that has such a hold on you, that had you in a chokehold. I love the fact that this song is describing a relationship being somewhat like a vice, something like an addiction. They give the juxtaposition of what it's like to be with them, and like the fact that we are so immersed in each other that there's really no individualism between the two of us. We've gotten so close that we've become one beating heart. We've become one body. We've become one physical being as a whole, or at least I feel that way. So to explain what it's like to become that leader and that guardian for our love, to be that representation that will always keep you safe, even if it costs me everything. I recognize that being in love with you is my vice. It is my drug. It is something that keeps me tangled and in a chokehold, but I need you to be able to let me know what it truly is. I need you to be able to let me know that, for me at least, I need you to be able to let me know that regardless of if this is not where it's meant to be, I want you to always be real with me. I want you to love me, and I'm willing to become or do anything for your love. But even if it kills me, I need you to let me know what it truly is, because of my own strength, I'll never be able to just let it go and move on with my life. When you think back to the songs in the previous album where it was the suicide attempt and he ended up in the hospital and the song was representative of that, there's going to be residual damage, and there's going to be a lot of more tough life experiences that you have as a result of the heartbreak. But I'd rather you let me know what it truly is than to me be stuck and in denial, if that makes any kind of sense. That's the vibe that I get, at least. I think the summoning is next, which I've heard already, but we'll let it spin regardless. And I got a reaction to that up on this Patreon and on the YouTube as well. So if you do end up watching this on YouTube, go watch that video. But if you're on Patreon, you can go watch it from here as well.
I've got a river running right into you. I've got
This shit is crazy. Okay, what I will admit is, now that I'm hearing that song in transition, it makes more sense. Because, you know, obviously when I was listening to certain songs as one-offs, they would have been out of context of the bigger picture. But I love the fact that the first song is painting the narrative of wanting that truth, wanting that reality, even if it kills me. But also this song shows the intensity of your emotions versus trying to peel it back and also explain the same situation. It kind of gives what it's like to have a conversation inside of their circumstances. You know, when you're emotional and you're not feeling heard and you want to express all of your love very intensely, you can be loud, you can be passionate, it can be explosive. But then when you have some time to think about it, you come back with a more calm delivery. You come back with a more composed delivery. You say the same things, but you learn to deliver them better. But I just love that this song is really just reiterating the fact that I feel engulfed in you. It's not just like me being in love with another person. I feel like the love that I have for you created a bond that makes me feel like we're one. And it hurts that you don't feel that same way. I just love the metaphors that they use to describe how close he feels. I feel like a river that's running directly into you. When rivers run into each other and they become one thing, is all in unison and they're always going on the exact same journey. I just love the fact that it just shows that the intensity of the love and the fact that it feels like more than just something that's common or more than something that's just replaceable. I love the way that they write these songs because it gives a lot of representation of the ways that people feel in real life that they don't know how to express. Like, you see people in regular life, whether it's on social media or people you may know personally, that aren't very creative when it comes to using their words, but the way that they act out when it shows about somebody they love or the way that they seem to overreact. No, they're just passionate and actionable about it. Not everybody knows how to describe it in words that can be as beautiful as this. But I liked it though, even though the words are beautiful, it still shows that there's still a lot of emotional instability, because there's a lot of going back and forth between emotional drive and trying to be loud and be heard even when they don't make you feel understood, but then trying to pull it back because you still don't want to hurt their feelings. You love so, it's the feeling of loving somebody so much that even when they break your heart, you still don't want to break theirs. That's what I'm trying to say.
Sulfur on your breath, granite in my chest. You will never have to talk about it. You'll never want to talk about it. Fury, too damn late. Reason dislocates, and you'll never have to talk about it. You'll never want to talk about it. I was more than just a body in your passenger seat, and you were more than just somebody I was destined to meet. I see you go half blind when you're looking at me, but I am between the second-hand smoke and the glass on the street. You gave me nothing whatsoever but a reason to leave. You say you want me, but you know I'm not what you need, but I am. When you sit there, acting like you know me, acting like you only brought me here to get below me. Never mind the death threats, plotting at the door. We'd rather be 6 feet under than below. If you had a problem, then you should have told me. Before you started getting all aggressive and controlling. You only drink the water when you think it's holy. So keep an eye on the road, or we will both be here. I was more than just a body in your passenger seat, and you were more than just somebody I was destined to meet. I see you go half blind when you're looking at me, but I am between the second-hand smoke and the glass on the street. You gave me nothing whatsoever but a reason to leave. You say you want me, cause you know I'm not what you need, but I am.
What? So this is going to be real quick. I love that this is reverting back to the storyline of listening to the Sundowner. It's going to be real quick. That first album described so well why it's toxic, not just on the end of Vessel, but also on the end of what it's like to be the other person in the relationship. And this is reminiscent of, like, I've been listening to YouTube projects and like certain other artists. This is a lot of the same narrative across different genres. It's a lot of the same narrative just in different fonts with different music playing behind it, different lyrics to say the same thing. But what it's really talking about is two people who are toxic individually, two people that are codependent on one another to the point where it's not a healthy bond. They aren't familiar what it's like to be loved and be in love. So it feels uncomfortable, but he's willing to sacrifice everything for this feeling that he's never felt. But on the other hand, you have a female where you can't control the way that she deals with her trauma, the way that she deals with her unfamiliarity with the circumstances of this. And I love that it's really just talking about, you need me the same way that you need me the same way that I need you, even if you don't know how to describe it that way, or even if it feels uncomfortable because you're afraid that one day it'll be lonely, or one day I won't be here, or one day I'll wake up and recognize that you're not really where I want to be. I want you to look yourself in the mirror and be able to say that I'm not just replaceable. I'm not just something that's here today and gonna be gone tomorrow. I want you to recognize that it's okay to let go and say out loud that I'm something more than just a fleeting moment in time. I'm something more than just a phase. Everything here is real. And even though you speak ill of it, or you speak like it's something that's temporary, that's not how I feel. And knowing you and knowing your heart, I know that's not how you feel either. So it's really just like letting go of your inhibitions and be able to be honest with yourself. You know this is where you need to be, but we need to get ourselves together, because sometimes that metaphor that he wrote about, we need to pay attention to where we're going before we end up on this road forever. That's deep too, because that's really just trying to say that if we don't really get real about the situation, we'll end up in this revolving cycle where we're just unhappy together, but we want to die when we're not together. We got to figure out some reciprocity to where we can be able to love each other completely and be able to let go of our pain enough to trust one another, or we need to be communicative and be honest about what's really going on. That way we have the strength to separate and find who we are individually. But whatever way this goes, we have to figure it out now, because if we don't, we'll always be stuck here treating each other bad, and we'll probably end up killing each other or killing ourselves like he tried to in the last one.
Well, my love is an animal call, cutting through the darkness, bouncing off the walls, between teeth on a broken jaw, following a blood trail, frothing at the mole. These days I'm a circuit board, integrated hardware you cannot afford. The perfect start to a perfect war, putting down the roses, picking up the sword. Aqua Regia.
Come on.
Aqua Regia.
Ew, hit them keys now.
Well, my past is a holy book, a call from Olympus, ringing off the hook. Between the pain and the way you look, I'm stuck in a time where the mountains shook. And these days I'm a picture frame, screaming at the sunshine, singing in the rain. Sugar on the blood cells, carbon on the brain, out of Eden's vices running through my veins. Aqua Regia, oxytocin running in the ether, silicon ballrooms, subatomic interactions. If it's all good, gold rush, acid flux, saturate me. I dancing to alarm bells. No wonder my ears are still ringing.
Come on.
And I am done fighting off change. No wonder my arms are still swinging. Aqua Regia, oxytocin running in the ether. Silicon ballrooms, subatomic interactions. If it's all good, gold rock, acid flux, saturate me. I can't get enough. Cold love, hot blood, right into your heart when you're thinking of.
I think moving forward, I'll only stop to talk about stuff that's anything differential to what I've already said. I don't want to keep reiterating. But the interesting part about this song is this is that false bravado. He's using a lot of metaphors to describe giving yourself that false sense of confidence and trying to let go of something and be bigger than the situation. This is him trying to take that step, whether, because they say you got to lie to yourself until you can believe in your own confidence. You have to lie your way into success. You have to lie to yourself sometimes to be able to find that piece of confidence that helps you stand up on your own two legs when you feel dependent on the legs of somebody else. So instead of only being able to stand when it's in combination with her, I'm trying to give myself that false sense of bravado that makes me feel strong enough to separate and be able to find myself. I got to recognize that I'm still that guy. I'm still somebody that's worth it. I'm still somebody that deserves to have a life. I'm still somebody that deserves to be happy. If you don't want to make the change with me, I can't wait for you to help me get off of this hamster wheel. I got to be able to get out of the rat race by myself. It's kind of like a Sleep Token version of You Don't Have to Call by Usher. If you ever heard that song, Pete, if you haven't, go listen to that one. It's You Don't Have to Call by Usher. That's kind of a similar thing. Just letting it be known that, yeah, I'm fucked up and it hurts, but I can't just be here sitting here waiting for you to give me the strength to go figure out who I am again, or give me the strength to remember who I am, because yeah, life was hard before you came, but it's gotten somewhat even harder because you're here, and trying to survive without you is the hardest phase ever. What the fuck kind of life is that? I need to remind myself who I am and find that confidence that with or without you, I'm still gonna be good. But I feel like that's just false bravado. That's like that phase of, I forget what I was listening to recently. I was listening to something with my wife, but it was something along the lines of, you know, when you give yourself that false sense, there's always you stepping away from the vice, like that first 30 days of letting go of addiction. And then that 31st day is like, fuck. I thought I was good. I was telling everybody I was good. But when I'm by myself, damn, I really wish I could get some of that right now. So it's like, this is like that phase of trying to take a cold turkey cleanse. But I feel like you're going to fall right back into it, or she's going to pull them right back into it. That's usually how it goes. That's exactly what I was talking about coming out of the last song. I don't even have to pause for that. That's what I was talking about. That crash. That crash is real. We always think we're strong.
Well, I know what you want from me. You want someone to be. Your reflection, your bitter deception, setting you free. So you take what you want, then leave. Who made you like this? Who encrypted your dark gospel in body language? Synapses snap back in blissful language. Tell me you met me in past lives, past life, past what might be eating me from the inside, darling. Half algorithm, half deity, glitches in the code, or gaps in a strange dream. Tell me you guessed my future and then mapped onto your fantasy. Tell me into your mannequin and I'll turn you into my puppet create. Won't you come and dance in the dark with me? Show me what you are. I am desperate to know. Nobody better than the perfect enemy. Digital demons make the night feel heavenly. Make it real, 'cause anything's better than the way I feel right now. I can offer you a blood clip paradise. Diamonds in the trees, pentagrams in the night sky. Lipstick, chemtrails, red flags, pink nails, with one eye on the door, other eye on a rail, other eye following a scarlet trail. Got the last few drops from the holy grail. Now rose gold chain strip, lace cut glass, blood stains at the canopies. Just don't ask, be the first to the feast. Let's choke on the past and take to the broken skies at last. from me. You want the same as me. My redemption, eternal ascension, setting me free. So I'll take what I want, then leave.
Wow, that song is really deep to me. I really feel like that's one of those things where, say we follow on the timeline, like I said, you try to give yourself that false sense of bravado and confidence to feel as though you're able to go out there and figure it out on your own. But then the relapse happens. That was the last song. Now this one is really trying to make another effort to let it be known that I understand it's hard for you to communicate. I know what you want. This is a false sense. The first lines of the song, I know what you want, meaning I know what you're used to. I know what you're expecting. You want me to just be a reflection of your pain. You want me to just be another reason why you can continue to not have faith. You want me to give you another reason to be pessimistic. You want me to be another source of trauma for your life. But in reality, I truly see what you've been through. I truly understand who you are. I truly understand how you're feeling, because all of those things are what make us trauma bond together. I've been there. I know how you feel, and I'm inside of this situation with you. So instead of me invalidating your pain, and well, I can validate your pain and let you know that you have the right to feel how you feel, but instead of validating and making you feel like I'm enabling you to continue on this path, let me tell you the truth. Nobody truly wants to stay in pain. Nobody truly wants to be lonely. Nobody truly wants to continue to ostracize themselves and isolate themselves away from any opportunity to be loved. What you really want is to be seen. What you really want is to be able to be at peace mentally and in your heart. You really want to outgrow your trauma and be set free from all of the chains that hold you back from being able to truly love openly and love freely. I know that you want somebody to hold you. You want somebody to understand. You just don't know how to say it. And you're just not at that phase where you're able to be honest enough with yourself, let alone tell me the truth about what it is you're going through. But I understand that you want the same things I want. I want the same things you want. We want to love each other, but more importantly to that, we want to be able to ascend into a place of strength. We want to be able to find ourselves in that next phase where it's bright, where the sun is out, where we don't have to continue killing ourselves trying to love one another. Now, whether that other side of the story ends up with us being together or it ends with us being strong enough to live without each other, I don't want you to think that it's because I don't see you. I'm willing to let you go if that's what'll make you better as a person, but I want you to know that for the first time, I'm stopping long enough. You have somebody in this world that's stopping long enough to see you for who you truly are. Behind the veil of false confidence, behind the veil of nonchalance, and all of the things that you try to present to the world, all of that's bullshit. I know what you want, and all you truly want is to be happy. And you not being able to express that makes it hard for me to continue moving on. Because even though I have faith, I keep getting pulled back into the cycle of us. It's like us being a tornado and I keep getting pulled back into it. So even though I'm strong enough to grow, you continue breaking my heart and not being honest with me doesn't validate this new truth that I found. So you make me feel like I want to disappear. That's how he ends up in those situations like the suicide attempts and being in the hospital under observation. Because like I said before, if knowing what to do was enough to make everybody do it, or if knowing what the best thing to do moving forward was enough to make it easy enough to do it, wouldn't everybody be doing better? Just because you know what to do doesn't mean that it's easy. That doesn't mean that you'll ever even do it. Sometimes people know the right thing to do and completely ignore it. We all human and we all do it in different factors of our life. But that's what this song truly gives me that it's about. I love that one. There's some deep topics on this song. Well, deep topics on this album, rather.
I raised you in the dark, caught you reading by the sunrise. You wandered from the path through the silence of the hillside. Don't
Yeah, that blends very well into the last song. That's the point that I was trying to make. I love that one.
Why are you never real? Whenever you appear, you leave me with that grace. I am trembling with fear, but I know that you will disappear just as I awake, a whisper in my ear. Well, I believe that somewhere in the past something was between you and I, my dear, and it remains with me to this day. No matter what I do, the scar will never fade. So let's make trouble in the dream world. Hijack heaven with another memory now. I'll make the most of the turning tide. It's just split what's left of the burning silence. Don't wait, 'cause this could be the last time you turn up in the reveries of my mind. Or wake up to a suicide frenzy. Loaded dreams still leave me down. Believe somewhere in the past something was between you and I, my dear, and it remains with me to this day. No matter what I do, this wound will never heal. Why are you never this shifting states you follow me just let me go. Take me
That's hard. Mm, mm, mm. Sidebar. I think Whit Lowry would have had a crazy verse on a song like this. Pete, you know what I'm talking about. But I love that metaphor. If my memory serves me well, isn't an apparition like a ghost type thing? You know what I'm saying? Like an apparition is like a spiritual presence type of thing. I could be wrong. So the narrative I'm about to run with could be completely off topic, but I'm going to say it anyway, so fuck it. To me, I like that whole song and that title gives a similar metaphor. The hardest part of trying to heal from a broken heart in a toxic relationship like this is even when you're not healed, I still feel the ghost of your presence in my face. I still feel the shadows in the room. It's kind of like, think of like a lucid dreams or something like that. Even when you're gone, your presence and the way that you make me feel is never truly gone. There's always some semblance of what used to be between us still in my proximity, and that prevents me from being able to heal from everything that we've gone through. My favorite line in this song is where it says, let's make trouble in the dream world, hijack heaven with another memory now. I love that metaphor because it's like, you get those, when you have somebody that you love and you make those beautiful moments, or you have those days that just feel perfect. Those are the moments that feel like heaven. Those are the moments that you treasure and you hold on to for eternity, because these are the moments where I felt the closest to whatever my picture of what heaven would be like. This is perfect paradise. This is pure peace. This is happiness. I love that metaphor because it's really just saying, I feel tethered to you and I can't let go of those memories of all of the things that we've done that are beautiful. Stepping aside from the ways that we hurt each other and all of the ways that we're toxic. It's hard for me to not always love you, because even when you're gone, you're never truly gone. I love that.
Do you roll with the waves? Or do you duck into deep blue safety? Is it always the same? Do you wish that you loved me?
Okay, that's what it means.
Do you pull out the chains? Or do you push into constant aching each and every day? Do you wish that you loved me? Is there something you give that you will never receive in return? Do you know what it is? Do you wish that you loved me? Now are you trying to live like everything is a lesson to learn? Can you ever forgive yourself? Do you wish that you loved me? My reflection just won't smile back at me like I know it should, and I would turn into a stranger in an instant if I could. And there is something eating me alive, I don't know what it is. Maybe not that you conceal your feelings, they just don't exist. Do you ever believe
Whoa.
that we can turn into different people? It's getting harder to be myself. Do you wish that you loved me? Could we ever release?
Damn.
Is it better to just not feel? Can we hit delete? Do you wish that you loved me? And it's been so long that I'm forgetting what it feels like, but I'd rather not remind myself and leave it all behind. me? Do you wish that you loved me? Oh, whoa. Do you wish that you loved me? Do you wish that you loved me? Small bird. Do you wish that you loved me? Do you wish that you loved me? Oh, whoa. Do you wish that you loved me?
That shit. Hold on. Let me, before I speak. Hold on. Let me lock in. Hold on. Okay. Opposite take. He's talking to himself here. Okay. Yeah. He's talking to himself. This is having a conversation with yourself in the mirror and having that conversation about what the fuck is wrong with you. Looking in the mirror and talking to yourself and saying, do you wish that you loved yourself? Do you wish that you gave yourself a chance to be able to be better? And by proxy of talking to himself, he's so much like the woman that he loves that he's speaking to her through himself. And that's also a reiteration of the fact that he feels as though they've become one. He feels as though they run into one another and they've become not individuals, but a unison. I love the fact that this is having a conversation with himself and talking about how hard it is to be able to heal and how hard it is to look himself in the mirror and smile. Why do I make it so hard? And the reason why I feel that way is because I love that he's questioning himself. He's giving himself a lot of tough questions that we all have. He's giving himself a lot of tough questions that make it hard for people to look into the mirror and truly recognize who they are. He's giving himself those tough questions that make it hard for people to feel comfortable enough to sit in their own company. But it's also a reflection of the same questions that he would love to ask her. That way she can do the personal work on her own to figure out what's holding you back. What's holding you back from loving yourself? Because if I can't love myself, how the fuck can I love you? That's a deep song right there. I love when songs like this can have duality to the meaning. And I love that it's kind of subjective based on who's listening to it in a way that they perceive it, in a way that is applicable to something in your own life. That's what makes music really cool. But that's definitely a song it's about duality. He's talking to himself, but through talking to himself, he's talking to her as well.
For so long I've waited, so long that I almost became just a stoic statue fit for nobody. And I don't wanna get in your way, but I finally think I can say that the vicious cycle was over the moment you smiled at me. And just like the rain, you cast the dust into nothing and wash out the soul from my head. So touch me again, I feel my shadow dissolving. Will you cleanse me with pleasure? It's that cabin cool cup that I can get down with, up like the moon and out like the hounds. A dangerous disposition, somehow refracted in light, reflected in sound. I'm coiled up like a venomous serpent, tangled in your trance, and I'm certain you have got your hooks in me. I know the way that it goes. You get what you give, you reap what you sow, and I can see you in my fate. And I know I am what I am, the mouth of
Come on, break it down, break it down.
If maybe it's all just a game. When I open my eyes to the future, I can hear you say my name. So rain down on me.
These songs are deep. These songs are deep as fuck. Title track.
I dream in phosphorescence, bleed through spaces, see you drifting past the fall, but no one told you where to go. We dive through crystal waters, perfect oceans, but no one told me not to breathe. And now the weightlessness recedes. Mama, those eyes like fire. I'm a winged insect. You're a funeral pyre. Come now, bite through these wires. I'm a waking hell, and the gods grow tired. Reset my patient violence along both lines of a pathway higher. Grow back your sharpest teeth. You know my desire. I will travel far beyond the path of reason. Take me back to Eden. Take me back to Eden. Well, yeah, I spit blood when I wake up. Sink porcelain stain, choking up brain matter and makeup. Just 2 days since the mainframe went down and I'm still messed up. Room feels like a meat freezer, I dangling like cold cuts. Missed calls, answer phones from people I just don't trust. Mirror talk, fake love, but I'll take a pound of your flesh before you take a piece of my pay stub. White roses, black doves, godmother, rise up. I need you to see me for what I have become. My mind, those eyes like fire. I'm a winged insect, you're a funeral pyre. Come now, bite through these wires. I'm a waking hell and the gods grow tired. Reset my patient violence along both lines of a pathway higher. Grow back your sharpest teeth, you know my desire. I guess it goes to show, does it not, that we've no idea what we've got until we lose it. And no amount of love will keep it around if we don't choose it. And I don't know what's got its teeth in me, but I'm about to bite back in anger. No amount of self-absorbed fury will bring back the glory of innocence. Those eyes like fire, I'm a winged insect, you're a funeral pyre. Come now, bite through these wires, I'm a waking hell and the gods grow tired. Reset my patient violence along both lines of a pathway higher. Grow back your sharpest teeth, you know my desire.
Jeez. I like that one because it draws like a ulterior needed. ulterior narrative. Like it's something that when I think of what the title is representing, I like that it's representing like what it felt like to him to be in the start of it, to feel like what it's like to be in love. It's like the purity, the beauty, and the vastness of opportunity, like the Garden of Eden when you had Adam and Eve when they were created. But I like that he's talking from the perspective of their love felt beautiful, it felt full, it felt flourishing and ever evolving, like the Garden of Eden. But in his representation, God wasn't there to guide them and tell them what not to do and teach them how not to treat each other and teach them blah. But instead of taking out the narrative of, having a God oversee the Garden of Eden and give them a set of rules, they were there in blissful ignorance. And over time, he watched the flowers die. He watched her change, and it gave still the ultimate story of them frolicking in the Garden of Eden, but then sin coming into the situation and spoiling the beauty of everything that they had, spoiling the beauty of everything that they were able to create here. And it's really giving a narrative of the sin representing all of their toxicity and all of the trauma revealing itself and rearing its ugly head into their situation. And when they let their trauma lead the way, that's what destroyed this beautiful place that they created. That's what destroyed this moment and destroyed all of these heavenly things that I think is cool in that way, because like I said in that one song, what was the song? Where it was saying, let's hijack heaven for a moment. I like the fact that they used that narrative, but then brought it into like a biblical term and like a biblical place and made it something where like their heaven on earth was their Garden of Eden. Their heaven on earth was that safe space and that beautiful place that was a culmination of their love. But through allowing everything to get in the way of it, that was the sin, or that was the metaphorical apple that Eve bit that spoiled everything, that ruined the opportunity for them to continue on being in a perfect situation based on their standards. I love that.
Just run it back, give me 5 whole minutes. I am thick on the inside, burning. I've got a ghost in the hallway, grinning, and a heavy head that won't stop turning. If my fate is a bad collision, and if my mind is an open highway, give me the twilight two-way vision. Give me one last ride on a sunset skylane. Call me when you get the chance. I can feel the walls around me closing in. Just running forward, alive like wires, as I see the past on an empty ceiling. I play along with the life signs anyway, but oh to God you don't know this feeling. Yet in reverse you were all my symmetry. A parallel I would lay my life on. So if your wings won't find you heaven, I will bring it down like an ancient bygone. Call me when you have the time. I just need to leave this part of me behind.
Woo!
Do you remember me? When the rain gathers, and do you still believe that nothing else matters for me? It's still the autumn leaves, these ancient colors.
That was great. That was a really, really, really great album. So, first off, again, shout out to Peter. I appreciate you recommending this and making it so I got back into this. I'm excited to listen to even in Arcadia now, but to focus on what we on. Even something I forgot to mention in the track before this, the title track of the album, I like the fact that one of the last lines he used referenced back to the beginning of the album when he was talking about being branches in the flood and etc. But I love how this album continues down that narrative and that path of talking about what it is to feel so intertwined in the love of being connected to somebody else that there's no individualism, but not just in terms of codependence, but also in terms of loving somebody so strongly that you don't want them to ever be lonely. Even if you have to be, you never want them to have to face the feeling of whatever the trauma that they've been through have brought them any further. So I like that this comes with like a sense of enlightenment mixed in with like a sense of toxicity, a sense of so many different emotions, because I feel like that's very realistic. I'm one of those people that you see, like I can talk about so many emotional themes. I can talk about mental health. I can talk about this and that and blah, blah, blah. I can run my mouth with the best of them. But when it comes to dealing with my own internal battles, or it comes to processing my own emotions or working through certain things for myself, it's always still complicated. Just because you can be the type of person that can vocalize what we could do to make things better, or you can vocalize the opportunities that we have to be better, or ways that we can put these works that we've learned along the way into action to do this and blah, blah, blah. Yes, in theory, it all sounds good, but the whole synopsis of it is if knowing what to do made life easier for everybody, wouldn't the world be less complicated? Wouldn't the people of the world be less complicated? Loving somebody would be less complicated. Loving yourself would be less complicated. Pursuing success and your purpose would be less complicated. Finding the confidence to be exactly who you are, regardless of how the world feels about it, would be less complicated. Everything in the world would be less complicated. But humans by nature are very complex. And that's something that goes back to the era of the beginning of it all. And that brings me to this, with being like called Take Me Back to Eden. I like that they're using biblical terminology in places to represent everything that I just said. Using the Garden of Eden being the launching pad for humanity. Whether you believe in God or whatever it is you believe in, the perspective they're writing from is the Garden of Eden being this beautiful place, this holy mecca of a place where you have beautiful animals, the flowers are blooming, the sun is shining bright, the water is flowing, it's clean, it's perfectly crystal blue, you can see through it. And on the other side, God takes a rib of you and creates a perfect woman that you feel like is meant to be here with you. Somebody that comes from who you are in your very essence of being this perfect. I mean, this woman was uniquely created for you. It's a beautiful feeling. But that's not taken into consideration, and he humanized it. Instead of focusing just on the biblical story of them being the first people, he's using the world that they created as their own Garden of Eden. But this is them meeting each other after coming through all of the phases of life that they've already been through, all of the baggage that they had from all of the trauma, all of the personal issues and internal struggles that they deal with, all got brought to this garden. So even though this unique place in this metaphorical world that we created is beautiful, we still have our own issues that we're battling. We never truly took the time to heal ourselves before falling in love and finding that perfect person that we feel like represents who we are, or like a mirror, somebody that you want to be with for the rest of your life. And one thing that's so true, if you don't really take the time to deal with things or lock in with them, whether that's praying about it or going to therapy about it or whatever it takes to process all of those complex emotions, innately, they will reveal themselves. And they will complicate the situation and make it hard for you to be happy, because in the back of your head, you still don't feel like you deserve it. His perspective is bringing baggage, and his result of his trauma, and this is, I resonate with that as well. His result of his trauma leads him to be codependent on giving everything he has to be engulfed in this woman's love. Her trauma is wanting to love, but being afraid to fully let go and allow herself to be free and fall into it. that's a clashing thing. Different people's trauma brings out different emotional responses. One person can grow up not being loved on by their parents and they want to love on people strong. Some people can grow up not being loved by their parents and have intimacy issues. There are always things that can make it difficult for people trying to meet in the middle. But I like that this project shines a different light, because after the last one where he was suicidal and he had issues figuring out how to just be, this one is talking about what it's still like to try to figure out how to be and survive without the love of your life, but it's also giving solutions. It's also showing growth. It's also letting it know that I know that you're afraid and I know why you're afraid. And even though you put up these barriers to try to hold me back, I know who you truly are at heart. And I know what you truly need to be able to progress, to move forward, to be happy. Whether that is with or without me isn't the important part. I want you to be happy even if my heart is broken. Even if you recognize that the joy and peace that you find, the normalcy and the happiness that you find is without me, I'd much rather you be happy than us both struggle separately. That's why I like the fact that he used the metaphor that if my prayer to God would be that even if we have to part ways, you still can be at peace. I would do anything. I would literally pour heaven down from the skies for you to be able to live in your own Garden of Eden, in your own eternal beauty, in your own happiness and peace of mind. Do you know how that's what real love is? You know, like that's selfless. Even if I'm falling apart, I'd do anything to make sure that you're taken care of. I'd do anything. And just think of the weight of that. If I could, I would pour heaven down just for you to be able to. That's some fly shit to say to somebody as well. But all of that to the side, there's a lot of depth to that. When you love somebody truly, you're willing to put them before yourself. And there's some issues with that as well. But that's what true unconditional agape, just like God's love is like. When you love somebody to that point, there's nothing I wouldn't do for you. Now, this may be an exaggerated point, but it's very realistic for everybody. Everybody who's experienced heartbreak and had trouble getting back from it, a lot of people would never make it back. Some people fall onto drug addictions. They fall into suicide. Some people fall into all of these different phases that they don't know how to process living a life without that one person that they feel like was supposed to be their future. But Vessel is coming from a place of recognizing that I know what it's like to have been loved. I know what it's like to have been in that. I've recognized my own heaven on earth. I've been within my own Garden of Eden. And I know through loving you that you deserve to be happy, because the only thing holding you back is you're too afraid to go against all of the pain that you're dealing with in your heart. And if there's any way I can ease that, even if it has to be without me, I would literally pour down the heavens from the sky so you can be able to be happy. That's fucking real. Stop playing. There's a lot of small details that got put into making this music, even down to the instrumentation of all of the music and the fact that they convey so many different moments and emotions of expression. I like the fact that it has down tempo, lo-fi sounds where that's you trying to find your composure and speak from a place of maturity, find your composure and be able to communicate clearly without getting upset, because you can't grow if you don't learn how to communicate with the person that you're trying to talk to. That's the biggest growth. But then it has those loud, explosive moments where it's emotional outbursts. It's you being angry. It's you feeling unloved. It's you having temper tantrums because you don't feel like the person that you're trying to give it all to even sees you for who you truly are. I love the fact that it shows all of those different dynamics and all of those rises and falls that comes within a relationship like this. And that's truly the dynamics of what makes life as a human so complicated. It's never going to be easy. That's why I always say to you guys that the hardest part of my journey personally has been recognizing that you'll never be able to be perfect. Like, life will always be a day-to-day work in progress. To the day you'll die, you'll be a work in progress. That's why it's important for everybody to stay open and stay willing to learn new things that can help make the journey slightly easier. There's so many different heartbreaks and tragedies that inevitably happen throughout life. And the final tragedy being the fact that one day you have to be buried by the people that you love, or some people get buried by their circumstances. Some people get buried with nobody around them to love them. That's just the fact of life. We have to accept the fact that life is full of tragedies, it's full of heartbreaks. But if you live your life with a closed mind, you'll never learn to find a way to cope with those times when they do come. So I like the fact that he's giving a lot of things that he's learned along the way, even in real life, being able to go from what the sundowning and this place will become your tomb were at essence to the growth in metaphors and the growth in lyrical content and the growth of instrumentation and the growth of emotional depth, emotional control, emotional intelligence, and all of the things that he's learned in the years since the last album were applied into this. And it shows, like, it's putting an asterisk on the last point. He's still dealing with heartbreak. He's still dealing with a hard time finding love and loving himself. But now I'm not afraid to ask those questions. Now I'm not afraid to be honest. Now I'm not afraid to get to the root of it. And at least at the end of it all, if I can say that I tried, I can survive. But he's coming from a place of selfless love to, I don't want to be the only one that survives. I want to be able to help you so we can both figure out where we need to be and what makes the most sense. I love that. I'm done talking. I could talk for an hour about this. Matter of fact, I almost forgot. We need to get into these extra songs that Peter sent me. I think there's a couple covers. We're going to get right into them. Apparently, they did a cover to Hey Ya by Outkast. If you know that's my shit. And very slept on how sad of a song that actually is. Speaking of that, you might have opened the door because I want to go through the Outkast catalog at some point too, but we'll figure that out later. Let's get into these bonus songs. I already knew, because knowing what that song is about, I already knew what that was hitting on. I already expected. See, this is the same way that I felt when I listened to them do Whitney Houston on the bonus tracks for the Sundowning. Songs that are so applicable to the narrative that Take Me Back to Eden was already about. I don't even have to explain why these songs make so much sense in transition of it. That song perfectly tells the narrative of what all three of these albums up to this point have been about, just being stuck inside that toxic relationship dynamic and not really knowing or feeling emotionally mature enough to navigate it. Come on, man, they song choices are crazy. And Vessel be smashing the fuck out of these R&B hooks. Let's really talk about that too, but all right, let's get into the next one. Is this the Hallelujah, like this? I ain't gonna ask you. I'm making like you sitting right here talking to me. Let's just play the song. Shit right here.
Your faith is strong, but you need to prove it. I have bathing on the roof of beauty in the moonlight overthrew you.
Come on, Vessel.
She tied you to the kitchen chair. She broke your throat. She cut your hair from your lips. She drew the hallelujah.
Backgrounds.
Hallelujah. Well, there was a time when you let me know what's really going on below, but now you never show that to me, do ya? Remember when I moved in you, when the holy dove was moving too, and every breath we drew was hallelujah.
Come on, boy.
Hallelujah.
Come on, who you feeling like?
Hallelujah. 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 Hallelujah.
Sing that shit.
Hallelujah.
Hey!
Hallelujah.
Come on with it. Oh, you took it. That shit was hard too. Oh yeah. All right, see, at this point, I don't have any doubt in Peter's music taste. We already know we locked in. He knows the type of music that I would enjoy. I've talked enough throughout the course of this entire reaction about narrative and dynamic and theme. Those two songs just make perfect sense in transition. I think when they do the bonus songs on the album, they're very intentional about what songs they do the covers to kind of support the narrative of where the music is. I love their song choices. And I love the fact that it brings a whole different sense of dynamic and creativity to it. Because I feel like, and I'm a big advocate for that, even with my own music, if you don't add any value to it, or if you don't have any type of different dynamic to add to the story of what the song was originally, you shouldn't do it. You shouldn't be trying to replicate or mimic what the energy of it was initially. We already have that. If you have something different to bring energy-wise, deliver it with everything that you have. And if you're not intentional about your delivery with it, leave that shit alone. Let a classic be a classic. And I'm sure everybody would agree with that. That shit is great. That song is bananas. What the fuck?
How could they deal with the pain?
Let me hear that little. Hey!
It was
Yo! Man, get the fuck out of here. That shit crazy. Man, that shit crazy. I'm not fucking with them no more, man. No. All right, fuck that. Look, that shit's crazy. I don't know if Loathe is just the producer or what role they played or if they sung in them. That shit's crazy. That should have been on the album, number one. That shit's crazy. What do I want to say? I mean, the album is broken down. And I feel like all of these things fit so perfectly into the fold of what the direction of what the entire project was. I feel like it was just really important to show a lot of growth and show a lot of different dynamics that separated from This Place Will Become Your Tomb and Sundowning. There's a lot of spiritual growth. There's a lot of self-awareness and a lot of understanding that took place. And songs like this really just talk about what that feeling was, what that narrative of just feeling lost in time and not really being able to recognize what that feeling was. The fact that you even just got a question like, you know, is it really you? Or dealing with songs like Hallelujah that pour into, and I don't even know if Hallelujah was woven into what this project was or if that was performed before this. I didn't even pay attention to when that was performed. Let me see. Okay, so the Hallelujah thing is unrelated. That's something that they were performing a year before the album came out, apparently, but it still weaves in so perfectly. That shows the intentionality of even just music that they perform outside of their own. For all we would know, it was intentional with them to perform that on stage going into the album that they knew would be coming out the following year. You know what I'm saying? But songs like that and Hey Y'all really just talk about the self-awareness and the growth of them as a person and the spirituality that leads them to understand that we don't have to be stuck in the same place that we've always been stuck. We don't have to feel as though we're trapped inside a toxic dynamic. If we want to be better, I understand that you feel the same way I feel. I know that you understand what we're going through the same way that I do, but I need you to say it out loud. I need you to tell me the truth, and I need you to be honest with yourself the same way that I'm attempting to be. I just want us to be real, and I want us to do better than we've done. Our last two projects showed just how tragic shit can get. Let's be better. And I feel like these three songs weave perfectly into it. Shout out to you, bro. We're going to get right back into the outro of the album. Honestly, you see I got my fade and shit. I got on different clothes. I did the album reaction before, and I completely forgot you wanted me to do the Outkast cover, and then you sent me a few more, so here we go. I hope you enjoyed this, though, and I hope you enjoyed the entire reaction. Let's get back into the rest of the outro for the entire video. RIP, my God, peace. But if you enjoyed this reaction, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. If you are watching this on YouTube, I will make the attempt always. Like I said, a lot of stuff has been getting blocked. So this will always be up exclusively on Patreon regardless. But if you are watching this on YouTube, like, comment, and subscribe. Turn on that post notification bell so you stay in tune every time we drop another deep album reaction like this one. And I'll put the QR code to the Patreon right here in case you want to join the family. Like I said, most of our albums moving forward will be exclusively on YouTube. So if you want to stay up to date to what we listening to, what we enjoying, and what journeys that we're taking like this will be the place to do it. Plus, it helps support our platform to be able to continue to grow and make more impressive and more in-depth content than we've ever got to make. Shout out to all of our beautiful patrons, just like Peter, who's the fucking GOAT. I appreciate all of you guys for your continued support. You make it possible. Simple as that. And I look forward to building more family on that side. If you can support, But like I said, as always, I'll take one of these songs from here. If it gets blocked on YouTube, I'll take one of these songs, put it on here for y'all, and we can enjoy it that way. But that's all I really got to say. This was my first time hearing Take Me Back to Eden. And until next time, I go by the name of Fob, and that's all I got. Peace.